So yeah, you said a lot of stuff, and I thought, why not just share this
Yeah, I can stick
with
it
you,
over.
my editorial staff, when I repitch the story,
Okay.
or we share it with America.
Yeah.
Who knows? American pizza world, anyway.
Yeah.
But you're involved with the entire restaurant world, or
Yes.
just more than that, even bigger than that, right?
Yeah, we are branched into medical. We're doing some medical trailers right now. We're doing mobile businesses, barbershops. We've done a mobile shoe store, optometrists, all sorts of stuff. So the whole mobile, we started doing food trucks, and then we've just kind of taken on more and more, and it's just keeps growing and growing.
Well, what do you think about the coronavirus in its impact on us right now? What does that do to your business? All the people that have pizza trailers that are selling pizza. We've done many stories in the past about the opportunity of selling pizza with mobility. How has it changed as a result of the coronavirus?
It's forcing a lot of the big decision makers to change their whole industry, to think in a mobile mindset. How are they going to take their business, instead of having the people come to them? How are they going to take their business more to the people? I think our industry has evolved several years because of this, because people have been scared to take that plunge into mobile delivery, home delivery, stuff like that, takeout, carry out, that kind of stuff. Now that they're forced to, everyone's making changes. I went to Best Buy yesterday just to get just a little cable, and I had to go there and I had to order online there, and they brought somebody out. It was a completely different business model, and it's forcing a lot of people to think, how can we future-proof our business in this way? Because a lot of people we've been saying this for years, this one fat frog, is you got to consider your mobile options. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback and stuff, but here in the last 2 weeks, we've been getting reached. A lot of people have been reaching out to us that we've been reaching out to them for years. And all of a sudden, they're coming to us because this is the future, whether we like it or not. This is the reality we're in. Is these mobile kitchens, it's the future.
How are people reacting right now? Do you have customers that are out there selling pizza with protective clothing, or do you have any stories from the trenches you can share with us?
A lot of the food trucks, they're used to going to events. They're used to going to these big gatherings, but that's not the whole food truck industry. There's a lot of people that just set up on the side of the road or set up at a gas station or a church, and that's their location. Those are not closing down right now. In fact, those are thriving. To be able to have a physical address, and that doesn't have to be, that could be a gas station, it could be a church, it could be anything. As long as it has a physical address, you can set up for Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, all these mobile delivery services that are essential right now for our industry. That's what's pretty much, I was watching TV the other day, and all the commercials for TV that involved restaurants was talking about home delivery and the DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff like that. And they have their own delivery service as well. And so to be able to have that truck that can go to these new locations, and besides that, you can take one of these food trucks. Let's say you're an Olive Garden and there's an area that you haven't been in. You want to test that whole demographics. You can take a trailer or move it there, set up and see the kind of reaction from that location. See, or if you're just building a restaurant, you got a couple months, you can open up a trailer in that spot and start doing mobile delivery. So there's so many different ways to utilize a food truck, a food trailer. Pizza wise, Chef Bruno and I, we had a big pizza oven. We threw it on a 24-foot trailer. We have a fryer, a flat griddle, so we're going to be doing burgers, pizzas, and wings and stuff. And all we're doing is Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber Eats.
So let me make a mark in the tape right here, so that we start a new conversation,
okay.
A different angle, and it starts like this. So Chef Bruno, he's been famous in the pizza industry all over the place. He's worked in corporations. He's worked for mom and pops. He's he's multinational.
Yeah.
He's an international guy, and he knows pizza. And he talked to me recently, and he said that he was at One Fat Toad.
One Fat Frog.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep wanting Toad, huh? We got to correct that. Okay.
Well, we do have half of our clients are Spanish speaking, and our Spanish name is One Fat Toad, because that's how Un Sapo Gordo is in Spanish. So yeah, we go by both.
Okay, so let me start over again. Okay. So Chef Bruno, I hear that Chef Bruno is now working for One Fat Frog.
Yes.
And which is amazing, because his career, he's been a corporate chef for many oven companies, and he's traveled all over the world for pizza. But he's there in Florida near you. Mm-hmm. You're in Orlando, right?
Yes.
And you say that you're the largest maker of food trucks in the country?
Yes, we are the nation's largest food truck manufacturer. We have about 300,000 square feet of manufacturing space here.
Uh-huh.
We're putting out about 1,000 food trucks and trailers a year.
1,000 a year. Okay, well, one of those trailers, Chef Bruno said that he was personally involved with, that's going to be launched tomorrow,
yes. Which
is what, March, whatever it is, March 25th. March 25th
yes.
is the big day. So what's going to happen? How are you launching this truck with Chef Bruno for One Fat Frog?
So because of the need and what's going on around us, we built this trailer, and because of our production facility, we actually turned this around in about less than 24 hours, a 24-foot food trailer. We got the inspections, we got the fire suppress, everything's approved, ready to go. We signed up on DoorDash, so we're ready to go on DoorDash. Our account we've set up, ready to start taking orders. So we're going to be taking mobile deliveries through DoorDash, and then we have Uber Eats it by the end of the week.
Uh-huh.
And it's been incredible working with them, because they've seen a huge, it took me a while to get that stuff set up, because they're so swamped with new accounts.
Well, that's really interesting, because you can be in a part of town strategically, mm-hmm. And they'll basically be a shuttle service for you. They'll come to you and then work out from there. If you were a general and you had unlimited things, you could cover every part of town, and with this mobile strategy.
Yep. So we're right here, kind of in the heart of Orlando, a little bit south, but our range right now, I think we set it to 9 miles for our opening week, a 9-mile range around us. Now, we don't have to do anything with the delivery. That's all taken out of, factored into their costs. I believe it's 20% for marketing, 10% for delivery, and there's a service fee. So they have their own fees, but us as the restaurant, we don't have to worry about that. They have all of that network, all that in place. All we have to do is open up our app, say we're ready to start cooking, give them our address, our location, and how much the radius of our restaurant, and then they do all the work. And we just kind of sit there. And as soon as the orders come in, they send us a tablet. As soon as the orders come in, we get a noise. We look at the order, and we can see when the driver is going to come to pick it up, how much time we have. And it's a completely different, it's the future. This is how restaurants are going to be operating. Food trucks, what's great about food trucks is you can do it for one day, and as soon as you're done, or if you're out of food, you can stop. You can stop the app, and you're not at a big event, for example. Big event, you run out of food, well, you've lost a lot of money. This one, you can stop the app, you're done cooking, you can either go refill somewhere else or move to a different location. So it's better.
Now the app that you're talking about is the DoorDash app, or do you have your own supplementary app?
This is the DoorDash.
The DoorDash app. Okay. Do you have an app of your own that people use?
No, not yet.
Okay. Just to be clear.
Yeah, but there are services that we're looking into and we're talking about that does white label those kind of apps and does delivery services.
So you'll have Grubhub at the end of the week, or Uber Eats?
We have Grubhub now, Uber Eats by the end of the week.
Okay, and you're adding DoorDash.
We will be adding DoorDash. They are currently not in the location that we're at. But
I see. Okay. So now let me ask you this: this sounds like a delivery operation. are you going to be in public areas where people can walk up for carryout as well?
We are, because, well, we're setting it up outside of our manufacturing facility, and we are offering it to the manufacturing buildings in our general vicinity, but we are not really promoting that publicly because of the current situation. We can't have big crowds and stuff. So we are just kind of handing out flyers to some of our neighbors just to say, because a lot of those guys, they don't have not a lot of options anymore. As far
Have
as
you
food.
thought about and planned out your safety protocols, or are you doing anything differently than you would from just a carryout truck, like at a carnival?
I mean, just enforcing the social distancing so the lines don't get too small. But as far
I don't know. I every time I ask that question, I get a different set of answers, and I'm just curious. I guess you haven't done it yet. Maybe you'll.
I mean, we're wearing masks on the trucks, so all of us are wearing masks. We got gloves. We're not handling money. So everything, that's a great thing about using these apps. If they do the order, there's no money exchange, so there's no money on the truck. There's no, we do have a card swiper, but we don't need to touch their cards. They can swipe it themselves. There's no actual physical interaction between us and that customer.
Well, you've described a very attractive business marketing model. Most of our readers are people that have different kinds of models. They're invested in a location and a higher cost, a different combination of cost, labor versus fixed costs, and all that. How do you make it so that somebody maybe I should ask that a different way. I think our customers are probably thinking, wow, this really sounds great, but what about my situation? Grubhub would be extremely expensive for me. Are you getting a special deal with Grubhub or some of these third-party aggregators, or are you pricing your product so that you can simply pay all the expenses that you have to pay to deal with one of the third-party aggregators?
There's creative ways you can get around that. Specifically right now, DoorDash and Uber Eats, they're waiving the delivery fees for the restaurant. But there's things you can do, for example, adding a drink to the order. And so all of a sudden, your markup, especially on food trucks, your drinks are your biggest money maker. You buy drinks by the cases and you're selling them for $1 or $2. The margin profit on those drinks are huge. So if we're adding drinks to these orders, we're actually covering the costs of the delivery, and it's not taking too much off of the bottom line. So that's the way that we're personally handling it, is by just adding drinks. So we're adding value to their meal, and we're covering those costs to us.
I know that you're documenting a lot of your stories, and you've interviewed a lot of your customers, and you have a storehouse of videos. How do people access some of those slices of life that you've created for us?
Most of our stories go straight onto YouTube. They get rolled out through Facebook. We have a social media strategy, but pretty much everything gets put onto YouTube when it's finished. So our YouTube channel, we have 2 different Facebooks. We have an English and a Spanish. So all of our Spanish content will get pushed to that. And then the English goes to One Fat Frog Food Trucks.
Okay. Let's see. Tell us about your big day tomorrow. Are you going to have a live webcam, or are you having, you'll have break-ins on Facebook, or?
Likely we'll go live. I've been doing a lot of our live videos. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll recognize me in a lot of these. We do like live after 5. We'll sit there and I'll talk for about an hour inside and outside of a food truck, just to kind of show and talk and answer questions. We're going to do that tomorrow at some point. I'm not sure the exact time when things kind of get rolling, and I'll have a minute. I'll have Chef Bruno there, and I will kind of talk and kind of show the trailer, the setup, and that's going to be.
Okay.
Let you know. You
got anything else that you want to add?
I
I'm gonna make this another section here.
Okay.
So, okay, so what we could do would be to have you identify, the top 3 things that people should know about One Fat Frog that you have is the DNA of your talking points.
Okay.
What's the number one thing?
One thing is
number one.
We are the largest in the country, and because of that, we're able to buy in bulk. And for that, our trailers and trucks are the most affordable in the country. Our business was born in the kitchen. We started doing restaurants and commercial restaurant build outs about 15 years ago. And so we know restaurants. We started doing food trucks about 4 to 5 years ago. And because we were so invested in the restaurant build out commercial stuff, we didn't spend, food trucks didn't start as our main focus. It was restaurants. And so we were able to build for everybody. A lot of the food truck manufacturers in this country, they'll only take the 100,000 plus because they're a small manufacturing building. It's a specialty vehicle. There's nobody doing it in bulk like we are. And because of that, we're buying in bulk, our prices are low, and these are just better built,
Number 3.
Number 3 is it's family owned and operated. It's still small. It's still to the point we are taking big orders as far as we can open up production lines for, let's say McDonald's wants to come in and buy 1,000 food trucks. We can handle that. We can handle that in a matter of months, not years. And we're also open. The entrepreneur can come right in. Mom and pop can come in, sit down with the actual owners and get a deal. And so, especially right now with the way the economy is and everything, we're giving out deals. They're sitting down directly with the owner and he's helping. So we have the flexibility to grow fast and grow quickly. And someone comes in for a medical trailer, for example, they want a mobile testing lab. We can have that built out in less than 12 hours. And that's because we have that flexibility. And we have laser cutters, we got automatic benders, we have all sorts of production stuff to help us.
What percentage of your business do you think is restaurant related?
I'd say around 90.
90. And of that, not of the 90%, but of the 100%, how much of it is pizza?
I'd say a good maybe 10-15% is pizza. We do a lot of pizza, restaurants. We've done a couple really nice pizza trucks. Equipment is because of the way we're going. We're actually in talks with a lot of manufacturers, and we're about making these pizza ovens smaller and more efficient to fit inside trucks. But there's things we've done. We've done because if someone wants a huge pizza oven, what we'll do is we'll create a slide out to give you that space and extra room. So when you get somewhere, it pulls out. So I'd say about 10 to 15% of what we're doing now is pizza related.
Okay.
Chef Bruno here, we hope to double, triple that in the next couple of years, especially that's why Chef Bruno's here. He's going to help us.
Yeah. Let me ask you the kind of customers that you have. I'm sure that there are existing restaurants that have a city. They might have 4 or 5 stores in town, and they want to secure their position by having a food truck for visibility and doing things like that. Yep. What percentage of your customers that are in pizza are those kind of people versus people that just want to go into the business with a new truck?
Not many pizza places are taking the mobile, are going mobile. It's mostly startups or people that are just, they want to, it's mostly startup and entrepreneurs taking on the pizza stuff.
So I've seen a lot of people that start off with the truck and then they end up going into a full-blown pizzeria. Is that, you still see that happening? Do you follow some of your customers?
Yeah, that does happen. We got some customers that they'll have a restaurant, but they're missing out on the events. And here, especially in Orlando, with Disney here, Universal, all these, there's a lot of events that they're taking their business and they're taking it to events. And people recognize them at the events. They know the food. they trust the food. A lot of the food truck events are just no name, or restaurants that are just kind of there. They're just, food trucks that have created their own social media following type of stuff, but to actually have an established business show up in an event. We've had a couple of those, and they're very, very successful.
Okay.
You even had restaurants too, where they don't actually cook on the trailer. They just got a warmers and stuff in there, and they cook at the restaurant. They'll load up all the warmers and they'll take it to an event. Like Bike Week, that's a big event here that people sell out quickly. We did a Chick-fil-A trailer that does something similar to that for Melbourne Beach. So.
You probably you've probably run into some incredible stories. Especially, we'd be interested in the stories of successful pizza people. If you've got some good pictures, videos, or names, we'd love to know who.
Uncle Cheesy's. Uncle Cheesy's. He's a Florida-based food truck. He's been doing very successful. He grew up in the pizza business, and they built them here. We did a really good spotlight video for them. So Uncle Cheesy's. There's another guy actually here in Orlando called Pop-Pop's Pizza. And both of these trailers, by the way, we designed it as well. We have an in-house design team. And so we work with them. We create their logo. We create the whole design. So that's kind of fun too. We also do a lot of branding for businesses.
Good. And you've documented quite a bit of that already. You design them, you create them, you follow them up. I guess
and we're there when they come back for their second and third trailer. A lot of we've been around so many years now that a lot of our earlier clients are coming back now as they're expanding.
So you think you're going to triple your sales. Did you think that last month, or is this a new assessment?
As far as, we've been doubling in size every year since we started this. When I came in about a little over 3 years ago, I'd say 20% of our business was food trucks, and the rest was restaurant equipment. Now I'd say, in fact, we've stopped all restaurant or equipment sales pretty much, because everything we get goes onto a truck at this point.
Yeah.
So we have.
I've seen some reactions to the immediate crisis that we're in now, where some pizzerias will have a sealed off lobby, and they'll let one person at a time come in to be super secure.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if anybody's asked for a design yet where there's a lobby that's protected or closed off. Anybody talked about that yet?
Not yet. I think everyone's still waiting to see what happens, and a lot of people are sitting at home right now, probably formulating their next move. But that's definitely going to be something everyone's going to have to consider from here on out, because you never know when something like this is going to happen again. So you have to prepare for it, which is why we're still in business. I'm still at the office. Our showrooms are full. We spaced out our desks and we clean them up after each person, and we're practicing that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're still cranking out these things. People are now leaving their jobs, or they're sitting at home and they're wondering what they're going to do in food trucks. I mean, you can get price-wise, you can get in a 14 to 16 foot food truck for in the mid 30s. And that's the cost of installing a hood system in a brick and mortar building. So here you are building your entire business for that. We also do financing, so this is really affordable to everybody. So it's cost effective. It's the future. It's smart. So
there are people that I know the most common phone call I get that discourages me is when people call up and they say, you know what, I just bought a pizzeria, or I just built a new pizzeria. Do you got any good recipes? And then I think, wait a second, it's too late. You don't want the recipe before you buy all your equipment. You want to do that first. So when people come to you, do you give them kind of a head start or a heads up on, well, if you're going to have a Neapolitan style pizza, you're going to need a certain kind of an oven, or how does that work?
So because we're the only food truck manufacturer born in the kitchen, so to speak, we have the one with the most restaurant experience. We do have several concept chefs on staff, And that's what they do, is they help people with their menu. We help them throughout the entire process, from planning to all your certifications, all that stuff. But we also help with menu planning, and we even do serve safe classes here on property. So that's definitely something. A lot of people come in, they go, "Here's what I want. Here's what I want." And we're like, "Well, that's not what you need. What you need is this, this, this." And so we do a lot of that, and we also help with just the whole layout of the truck. It's basically a kitchen. It is a commercial kitchen, and we help in the layout of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you want to send us some? I guess this is the other part now where we probably. I'll keep the cameras running in case you say something really important, but I think that probably wraps me up. Unless you want to, unless you have anything else you want to think about.
No, I would just invite all business owners to consider their mobile options. How are you taking your business to the people?
You want to talk to the camera about that? Sure. Instead of me, just so that it has more impact. Go ahead and tell our people what you'd like them to know about your introduction offer, okay, or what you were going to say.
All right. With technology and the industry changing so much, have you considered a mobile option for your business? Have you considered how you're going to take your product to your customer instead of waiting for your customer to come to you? How are you taking your business to them? How are you future-proofing? How are you? The industry is changing so much. It's time to consider what are your mobile options.
I love that future-proofing. That's a very powerful word, and that's a great way of thinking about what you're doing. It's a very mobile tool in a business dynamic business industry. So these are some great stories. So it would be helpful if you want to send us some stories. That would be good. Also, you should be considering advertising or working with PMQ. We have 40,000 readers. We have 60,000 unique visitors that come to our website every month. We have a weekly newsletter of 28,000 people. We've got the number one website with nearly 5,000 people that are registered share users on our peer-to-peer group. So cool. We really are the pizza industry headquarters. Yeah. I think your story parallels a lot with the growth of our industry, and I'm sure there's some ways that we can collaborate that would be good for your business. Absolutely.
Very cool. I'll talk to the owners about it, and hopefully we get that into our marketing.
Okay. So in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll give this to Blake, this video, and if you want to make sure that we're covering the points that Bruno, I owe one to Bruno, so Bruno wants a story somewhere. So we usually, when we do stories, we can't do stories about certain businesses because then all the other businesses get jealous. But what we can do is show off your customers who are demonstrating your product, and obviously, as a footnote, you would be the person behind the story. So we just want to maintain the credibility and transparency and have everybody know that you guys just are what you are, and you're right there where it needs to happen.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. All right. So I haven't turned one of these off yet. So
all right.
I'll go ahead and end the meeting. You think we're done?
That's all I got to say.
Good. Thank you for taking time out of your day. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.